Hello and a very warm welcome to News Across Nigeria today. I'm Olumide Mukoli. Coming up on the program, security agents prevent another suicide attack in Maiduguri, Borno State. The attempted bombing comes as governors of states around the Lake Chad region meet for a second day in the Borno State capital. And the Kogi State government sets a 40-year plan to eradicate yellow fever. And should that target be met, will be a milestone in healthcare delivery in Kogi State. We'll get to that story later on. Thank you so much for joining us. We begin in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. The Senate has declared the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Ibrahim Idris, as an enemy of democracy and unfit to hold any political position in Nigeria and abroad. The declaration follows the refusal of the IGP to appear before the lawmakers for the third time to explain what the police is doing about the persistent killings of Nigerians in Benue, Zamfara, and Taraba states. The lawmakers are also concerned about the alleged maltreatment of the lawmaker representing Kogi West Senatorial District, Senator Dino Melaye. The Senate President, Dr. Bukola Saraki, also told lawmakers that a court had earlier ruled that the National Assembly had the powers to summon the IGP or any other public officer for questioning. He also assures the lawmaker that the leadership of the chamber will make further considerations on the matter. Police and the vigilante groups in the Jidari Polo General area of Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, have foiled a suicide attack on a mosque. The teenage suicide bombers, both female, had attempted to detonate the explosives during the early morning prayer. The Borno State Commissioner of Police, Damian Chukwu, who confirmed the incidents, says the bombers, aged between 13 and 16, were stopped by the police and the unarmed vigilante men around the mosque. According to the police, they then ran into an uncompleted building near the mosque where they detonated their devices, killing themselves. Meanwhile, this latest suicide attempt comes as Borno State hosts governors around the Lake Chad Basin and their development partners in a two-day brainstorming session on how to strengthen cross-border security. The conference, which ends today, also has representatives of the European Union and the United Nations in attendance.
This declaration marks the official opening of the first ever Lake Chad Governors Forum Conference. Development partners from the international community, the multinational joint task force, civil society and other stakeholders converge on the Borno State capital for this engagement. Besides the Boko Haram crisis, the receding Lake Chad is also the Nigerian government's major headache.
Chad is very dear to our hearts, and it is a source of livelihood to over 45 million people living in the basin. This lake, which is one of the oldest lakes in Africa, is shared by the republics of Cameroon, the Central African Republic, Chad, Niger, and Nigeria.
The UN Humanitarian Agency wants the stakeholders to strengthen cross-border dialogues and initiatives, as well as adopt a multi-front approach to the crisis facing the region. It's a position the Chadian government agrees with.
The crisis in the Lake Chad Basin cannot be solved through a unitary approach. We must pursue a multi-pronged approach, including humanitarian assistance to save lives in the short term, development to address the root cause of this crisis, peace and counter-terrorism.
The European Union is convinced that the forum will present a platform for sharing experiences and sustainable solutions.
The military defeat of the insurgents and ending the humanitarian crisis must be joined by decisive efforts to secure long-term development. This is still a daunting challenge that can only be overcome by working together across cross borders. The crisis is regional, and the response must be regional as well.
With the conference expected to proceed in a closed-door session, all eyes will be on the resolutions that will emerge from the deliberations, with the hope that they will ultimately lead to peace and environmental security restored in the Lake Chad Basin.
We have a couple more stories based on security for you, but in Bauchi State this time, the governor, Mohammed Abubakar, has defended the National Economic Council's approval to use 1 billion naira from the excess crude account to acquire arms for the Nigerian military. He says the decision was taken in consideration of the emerging security threats in the country. Governor Abubakar insists that Nigeria must explore different methods to solve the present security threats confronting the nation.
To support the recent move by the governors of the country sitting at the National Economic Council, where we now approved the utilization of part of the excess crude account to fund the acquisition of arms for the Nigerian armed forces. So I think just a one-line charge alone cannot do it. We have to think out of the box, and we have to support our armed forces. So far, they have been doing fantastically well for us, protecting the territorial integrity of the country and then participating in internal crisis. If there is any politician that is adding to this problem, I think it's a wrong move. I think we should be able to do a rethink. We have to have a country first before we can even govern it. So if your aim is to govern your state or to govern the country, we have to have a country that is intact, that is peaceful for you to be able to do that. So it's foolhardy for any politician to now cause chaos.
Mohammed Abubakar, governor of Bauchi State. Now to the efforts of the Nigerian police to maintain law and order in Benue State. They've paraded suspected arms dealers and kidnappers thought to be fueling the attacks in Benue. The force public relations officer, Jimoh Mashood, says they were arrested with rifles and other weapons. The police spokesperson is assuring Benue residents of improved security following a deployment of mobile force units to strategic areas.
This site looks serene now, but that has not always been the case. This is where armed bandits ambushed some police officers in Logo, killing 11 of them. This border community between Benue and Nasarawa states may be quiet now, but the police is not seeing it that way. A hunt for the killers of their men is on the way, and they have arrested these men with what they believe are their tools of trade.
I used to get person who is doing this during crisis, make me to search people who used to get and defend ourselves. Later, the people die. And I can't stop the business.
This business is a bad business. See, the person will connect me. Just it's not only time of 1 month. It was key. So I will try and leave this business. So the friend will say, okay, we should try and dispose this arm. Then we should leave it. When he have call of this Kabiru, he called me say, Kabiru need this arm. We should bring it here. You will sell it for us.
The police say these suspects are the brain behind the reign of terror, especially in Benue State.
10 AK-47 rifles, 2 locally made pistols, 238 rounds of AK-47 ammunition, 78 ammunition for LAR rifle, 13 AK-47 magazine, and 40 smoke canisters. These are what were recovered from suspects who have been dealing in prohibited firearms and commercially supplying these firearms to criminal headers, to equally militias and other people that have been making some certain area of Benue State to go into this crisis that we are already witnessing now.
They have also come up with measures to reduce the violence.
I want to make bold to say that the Inspector General of Police, concerned by series of crises that have occurred in this state, have made additional development of police personnel. 15 mobile units have been deployed from across the Federation to come into Benue State to be able to reduce this level of criminality to the PRS. As we speak, quite a number of suspects who are directly involved in the killing of our police personnel in this state have been arrested and they have been prosecuted.
With this development, residents of Benue State may now have a renewed confidence in the police to better protect them against the bandits who have sent them out of their homes.
You're watching news across Nigeria. Coming up, the governor of Katsina State is preferring possible solutions to the crisis between the farmers and the herdsmen. Please stay with us.